everybody, I'm honored to be sitting here with Chris Turner, the founder of the Ring Finders. Chris, thank you for coming along and doing this interview with me.
This is a pleasure, Stephen. Nice to see you, and I look forward to it.
All right, but in this video, we're going to talk about how Chris got his vision of where he's at today, and it goes back a long way. He's going to tell you a story about how he started thinking about the Ring Finders. And, you know, we all have things in our lives that kind of point us in certain directions. You might go to your local doctor and says, man, that guy's saving lives. I'm going to be a doctor when I grow up. Your next door neighbor might be a teacher, and you see this teacher that's educating people and helping them go forward in life and do good. I'm going to be a teacher. Well, Chris here has a story how he got his start. Let's let him tell it to you.
So, Stephen, when I was 12 years old, I saw a Field and Stream magazine that my father had, and it had these people holding something. And I looked at it, and I said to my father, I said, what is that? And he said, it's a metal detector. And I said, what does it do? He goes, it finds treasure. And I looked at him, I go, I want one. Without a breath, he goes, get a job. And I did. I worked at a chicken farm all summer to work for this metal detector, and it was probably one of the worst jobs I've ever had in my life. My dad would wait for me at the end of the day with a hose and hose me down before I'd enter the house to have a shower. That's how bad I smelled. I was walking home one day, and my friend saw me, and he started walking towards me, and he just walked right away, right past me, like doing this. I didn't care. I was motivated. I wanted to buy my metal detector, and I did. And my first metal detector was a Metrotech. It came from London. That's what was in the magazine I saw. And I got it. And I was so excited. I made enough money. I think it was around $480 back then. And I made enough, bought it, got it. And my dad buried some coins in the backyard, silver coins. Mind you, it was 1972. So he buried some coins. I was in the backyard detecting and finding them. And my neighbor, this elderly lady, looked at me and said, Christopher, what is that? And I looked at her, I go, it's a metal detector. And she goes, what does it do? And I said, it finds treasure. And she goes, do you think it could find a ring? And I said, yes. And she goes, well, I lost my ring 10 years ago in my garden. So I said, okay. I came in there and I started detecting, and I found her ring. It was a diamond solitaire ring, gold, with a diamond. And I didn't think much of it at the time. I just went, wow, cool. I grabbed it. It was still dirty, and I handed it to her like that. And she took it. And I swear she never moved. She just looked at it like this. And her jaw was like that. And I just went back to my yard, and I was playing around with the detector and didn't think much of it. And that Friday, the Friday, I think I found out on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, that Friday, I had an apple pie on my doorstep. And it was the best apple pie. My mom makes a really good apple pie. That was amazing. And every Friday for the rest of the year, I had a homemade apple pie. And I thought, this is fantastic. Apple pie for a gold ring. What a trade-off. So I'll never forget that. It was one of the highlights of my young treasure hunting career. And I just fell in love with this hobby, and didn't realize at that moment I would turn that little find into a company now that's global with 24 countries and over 600 members. So,
all right, gold and apple pies. There's nothing more American than that, is it, Chris?
No, nothing more American or Canadian.
Oh, Canadian! That's right. He's actually from Canada, from Vancouver.
That's right.
And he's actually driving around the country in his van, meeting all his members. We're going to talk about that on another video. Let's not get into that right here. But you were, what, 12 years old when you found your first ring?
12 years old, virtually right out of the box. I got my metal detector, headed into the backyard, got this lady asking her what it was, and went into her yard and found it. I think it took all of 20 minutes.
You must have learned that detector pretty quick then, because you see people, a lot of times we go to find rings, and people rent detectors and go try to find them. Oh, I rented a detector, try to find that ring. I couldn't find, you know, I know you've seen that before.
100 times over.
Yeah.
You wonder how many people walk away sadly when they don't find it and don't realize it does take experience. Yeah. I was lucky. This one was a beep, turn on, beep, dig, beep. So I just listened to everything and dug everything, and I pulled the ring out. So
that's awesome. And when did you get your second metal detector?
The second metal detector was a Coinmaster in 1974, a White's Coinmaster. That thing cost me probably more money for batteries than it did to pay for
Oh.
the thing. It was crazy how expensive those C cells were. And they took about 8 or 12, I forget.
And back then there was no rechargeables back then,
No
like it is
rechargeables.
today. And the machines themselves didn't have rechargeable batteries in them, so you had to buy them every time it ran out.
That chicken farm, it paid for a lot of batteries.
The chicken farm come in handy.
You know what? I remember my dad used to wait at home. I don't know if I said this before, but he used to hose me down before I walked into the house. That's how bad I smelled. But
You wanted that thing bad, didn't you?
I did.
You wanted that detector bad.
Yes, I did.
Now, then you moved to L.A.?
Yeah, out of high school, I signed a professional contract with the San Jose Earthquakes, professional soccer team in the North American Soccer League called the NASL. And I played professional soccer for 7 years, so I put the metal detector away for those 7 years. And I had a career-ending injury playing for Canada against Italy in a friendly, and I picked my metal detector back up.
Ah, okay. So at the time you kind of got away from metal detecting at all. We hadn't even thought about the ring finders yet.
No.
You're playing professional soccer, you're doing other stuff there, and now you got an injury that took you off the soccer
It
circuit.
did. It completely took me off the soccer circuit, and I moved back to LA. I bought a boat, and I just enjoyed life for a while, playing tennis, body surfing, and then going out early in the morning before the crowds and metal detecting. And one morning, I was walking up the beach. It was just getting light, and somebody started charging at me, like running and yelling. And I'm like, okay.
Crazy man.
Crazy man. So I'm getting
We've been
ready.
there.
I put my scoop down. I got my metal detector on the ground. I'm like, okay, come on. And the guy gets close. He goes, help, help. Can you help? It's like, yeah, what's up? He's like, my wife, she lost her engagement ring just up here. We've been here all night. So I think he said he got there at like 9 o'clock at night, and by 11 had lost it. And they were searching with flashlights for the whole night until morning.
I heard that story.
Yeah. So I said, no problem. I walked up there. She's there. You can just see she was just physically and mentally drained. Her eyes were all like red and bloodshot. I found it within a minute. And
man.
I just go, here you go. She loses it. She starts crying. He hugs me. He pulls out his wallet and gives me everything. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, sir. I go, I don't want your money. He's like, you're taking it. I go, I don't want it. He goes, you're taking it. You don't know what this means to my fiance and myself. He goes, thank you. And he walked away. And I'm thinking, wow, that was really kind. And again, never really thought much of it until this happened a few more times. And then I moved to Cancun.
And we're going to stop it right there because this is getting ready to get started into your brain ticking into the ring finders at that point. And we're going to talk about, in part 2 of this series, about how Chris actually started the ring finders, what he had to go through to get it going. And how many countries?
24.
24 countries and 600 members. Tens of thousands of dollars, or millions of dollars, right, of found stuff, and tens of thousands of items found.
Yes.
So stay tuned for part 2, and we'll get in that after this video. Don't forget to click like, comment below, share. And you know what you got to do, Chris?
Subscribe.
You got to subscribe to the Gigmaster.
Subscribe.
All right, we'll see you on part 2.